Let me guess, lately it feels like chaos is winning the battle, doesn't it? You're desperately trying to control every aspect of your existence, each detail, each outcome, but the harder you push, the more everything seems to crumble around you. Am I right? Now let me ask you something. What if instead of clutching tighter, you discovered the art of releasing your grip? Because that, my friend, is where true power resides. In this exploration, I'll share something transformative: how to manifest your deepest desires without depleting your spirit in the process. Yes, it's attainable, and no, I'm not suggesting mystical tricks or passive waiting. Today, you'll discover profound principles inspired by ancient Stoic wisdom that will teach you how to release tension, reclaim authority over your existence, and most importantly, attract what you've always yearned for. I promise, it's not what you're expecting, but that's precisely why it works. Are you prepared to unlock the potential that already exists within you? Before we venture further, I invite you to momentarily step into another's journey. Let me share a story that might resonate with you. Nikolai was a senior executive, one of those individuals who appeared to have everything meticulously arranged. His calendar was perpetually full, he faced major decisions daily, and operated under constant pressure to maintain perfection. But at what cost? One day, during a crucial presentation to his team, something unexpected occurred that he never anticipated. His body rebelled, a panic attack left him completely immobilized. Nikolai, the man who always had solutions for everything, experienced vulnerability for the first time in years. In that moment, something within him cried out, "What am I doing with my life?" On a colleague's recommendation, he did something previously unimaginable: he disconnected. He retreated to a cottage by the sea, no emails, no calls, just Nikolai and silence. Initially, his mind raced ceaselessly: what's happening at the office? What will people think? But gradually, something began to shift. As he walked along the shoreline and listened to waves crashing against rocks, he recalled words from Epictetus: accept everything that happens, even if it differs from your expectations. Then, as if emerging from fog, understanding dawned. Nikolai realized he didn't need to control everything for matters to resolve themselves. When he returned to the city, he stopped filling every moment with meetings. Instead, what did he do with his newfound time? He created space for meaningful activities, moments for reflection, self-care, and enjoying his family. Most surprisingly, when he relinquished his need for absolute control, things didn't collapse. They improved. The workplace atmosphere transformed, results flourished, and for the first time in ages, he experienced inner peace. Now I ask you, how often have you felt like Nikolai, carrying a burden that seems impossible to release? Perhaps today marks the moment to say enough and discover what happens when you allow tranquility to work its magic. Are you willing to try? Let's begin. Let go and relax. Imagine standing on a pristine beach. You grasp a handful of sand and squeeze tightly. Initially, it feels like you're in control, but the harder you squeeze, the faster it escapes through your fingers. Familiar, isn't it? Doesn't it mirror life? When you attempt to control everything, trust me, the more you struggle to dominate every aspect, the quicker it all seems to disintegrate. And there you remain, trapped in a cycle that leaves you exhausted, frustrated, and further from what you truly desire. Does that sound familiar? Let's be honest, clinging to constant control isn't advancing you. It's like driving with the emergency brake engaged. What happens? You remain stationary. All you accomplish is burnout while remaining stuck. But what happens when you release that brake? Exactly, you move forward with reduced effort and greater ease. That's precisely what you must do in life: let go. Don't misunderstand me, letting go doesn't mean surrendering. It means trusting the process, and when you do, when you stop holding on so tightly, something remarkable occurs: things begin falling into place naturally. Picture this: you're on a vacation with loved ones. You've meticulously planned every detail, the exact departure time, dining locations, even activities to keep everyone entertained. But predictably, nothing unfolds as planned. You encounter terrible traffic, rain begins pouring, and children choose this moment for tantrums. What do? Do you become frustrated because reality isn't following your script, or do you accept that certain elements exceed your influence? Because that's life, you can't control traffic, weather, or temperaments. But you can choose your reaction. This is where Stoic philosophy demonstrates its power. Seneca in his letters left us timeless wisdom: accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. It's as if he's telling you to stop wasting energy accelerating while the brake remains engaged. Release it, and you'll progress with less resistance. Because ultimately, what matters more, that everything proceeds flawlessly, or that you genuinely enjoy the journey? I understand this concept of letting go sounds easier said than done, but don't worry, I'm here to help. Let me share 3 simple practices you can begin implementing today. They'll not only help you let go but also prepare you to relax and attract what you truly desire. First, document your concerns on paper. Don't overthink, simply write something like, "I'm trying to control this, but I realize I can't." Then crumple that paper and discard it, literally. Why? Because it symbolically tells your mind, this no longer burdens me. Second, employ the golden moment pause whenever plans derail. Take several seconds to breathe, inhale for 4 counts, hold briefly, then exhale for 6 counts. This serves as your daily reminder that sometimes pausing is the only way to advance. Third, create space in your schedule for nothing, yes, nothing, even if just 15 minutes. What can you do? Listen to music, observe clouds, or simply enjoy silence. During these moments, your clearest insights and deepest desires have room to emerge. When you stop trying to control every moment, you begin thinking clearly and manifesting everything you desire. Surprisingly, when you learn to let go, life doesn't collapse as feared. On the contrary, it begins taking shape. This isn't magic, it's clarity. When you stop wasting energy on unchangeable matters, you free mental and emotional space for what truly matters. Consider this: what if today you chose to release just slightly? Not everything, just one small step. Stop clutching the sand, relax, and allow life to flow. Trust me, transformation begins the moment you decide to let go. Start your day strong. Have you ever wondered why some days flow effortlessly, as if everything aligns perfectly, while others feel like scaling an impossible mountain? It's not magic or fortune. Do you know what determines this? How you spend your first waking hours. This period sets your day's tone, like tuning an instrument before performing. Imagine stepping onto stage without adjusting strings, disaster would ensue. But take moments to tune properly, and everything flows harmoniously. Every note resonates, every chord fits perfectly. That's the key: your morning activities not only shape your feelings but also how everything else will resonate throughout your day. Doesn't that sound worthwhile? Let me share a personal experience illustrating this principle. One morning, instead of immediately reaching for my phone as usual, I decided to change my routine. I sat quietly for several minutes, breathed deeply, and contemplated how I wanted my day to unfold. Rather than allowing notifications to dictate my mood, I played my favorite music, the kind that inspires movement regardless of circumstances. While preparing tea, I found myself dancing in the kitchen. Initially it felt somewhat foolish, but do you know what happened? That day proceeded better than anticipated. Even minor frustrations that typically irritate seemed insignificant. It was as if that initial energy burst established the pattern for everything that followed. Do you know who else understood morning power? Zeno of Citium. He began his mornings with reflection, writing, and aligning his thoughts with what truly mattered. For him, it wasn't about reacting to the world but preparing to face it, and you can do likewise. Transform those early hours into space for focusing your energy. How might you begin your mornings differently? Here's a suggestion: before touching your phone, sit momentarily and take several deep breaths. Inhale for 4 counts, hold briefly, then exhale slowly for 6 counts. Repeat thrice. You'll be amazed at the difference it creates, like giving your body opportunity to begin with tranquility and intention. Next, find something making your morning special. For me, it's music. Try it, play something inspiring, something making you want to move. Yes, even if it seems slightly absurd, dance briefly. It doesn't matter whether you're alone in your kitchen or preparing before a mirror. You might laugh at yourself, that's the point. Nobody needs to witness this, but trust me, that energy surge can transform your entire mindset. Here's another idea: before leaving home, take moments to consider one thing you want to accomplish today. It needn't be significant, perhaps simply enjoying lunch without rushing or navigating errands efficiently. These small intentions not only bring clarity but also become initial steps toward attracting what you truly desire. So tell me, how do you want your mornings to be henceforth? Do you want to begin in chaos, letting circumstances drag you along, or take control, create your moments, and establish the tone for a day flowing in your preferred direction? My friend, you don't need elaborate routines or pre-dawn awakening. You just need strong beginnings with calm and intention. Remember, every morning presents new opportunity, and how you choose to experience it can initiate everything you've ever wanted. Your mind, your best ally. Think of your mind as a puzzle. When pieces are scattered and disorganized, seeing the complete picture becomes impossible. Everything feels chaotic. But what happens when you take moments to arrange them? You group by colors, by shapes, and suddenly something magical occurs. The image begins forming. My friend, that's exactly how your mind functions. If cluttered with disorganized thoughts, worries, and stress, what can you clearly perceive? Nothing. But when you provide calm and space, what relief! That's when everything begins falling into place. Several years ago, a naval captain named Admiral Petrov faced one of those moments most would consider nightmarish. Imagine commanding a submarine with over 150 crew members. Everything proceeds smoothly until the unthinkable happens. Critical systems fail after equipment malfunction. The vessel loses power, and all you see ahead is crushing depth and dangerous currents. What would most people do? Panic undoubtedly. But Petrov did something different. He closed his eyes momentarily and took a deep breath. In his mind, chaos had no place. He visualized necessary actions, stabilized the submarine without causing catastrophe. Was he certain it would succeed? Not remotely. But he trusted his experience, his team, and most importantly, his ability to maintain composure. He manifested it, and do you want to know what happened? While alarms sounded and crew members held their breath, Petrov spoke with firm, clear voice. Emergency protocols engaged. It wasn't merely technical instruction but a declaration of confidence. He was manifesting what everyone needed in that moment, hope that everything would resolve favorably. Thanks to his calm, focused mind, he achieved something extraordinary. He stabilized the vessel and saved everyone aboard. Marcus Aurelius was right when writing, "What disturbs us is not what happens but our thoughts about it." Petrov couldn't control systems or undo equipment failures, but he controlled his mind. He transformed chaotic circumstances into opportunity for clear action and saved lives. That's what we can learn from his story. When you choose mental calm, you stop seeing problems and start seeing solutions. So how can you train your mind to become your greatest ally? You must learn organizing the pieces of your mental puzzle. Spend 5 minutes daily considering all the concerns cluttering your thoughts, like scattered puzzle pieces. But here's the technique: don't attempt solving everything simultaneously. How can you manage this without overwhelming yourself? Imagine you're stressed about 3 concurrent situations: a pressing work deadline, unresolved conflict with a friend still troubling you, and concerns about financial obligations this month. Consider these worries as puzzle pieces. Take those 5 minutes to organize them. For example, place the work project in one corner, something you can immediately address, mentally marked in green. The friendship conflict belongs elsewhere, perhaps in blue, something resolvable later through communication. And finances, place that in red and set aside in a pouch of future pieces to address when reviewing your budget. Suddenly, by separating pieces and assigning them places, you begin seeing clearly. Not everything jumbles together, not everything demands simultaneous attention. You might not solve the entire puzzle immediately, but something better happens. You no longer feel overwhelming chaos. Just by doing this, your mind begins feeling lighter, as if making progress on something previously seeming impossible to manage. Worth trying, isn't it? Remember, when your mind achieves calm, not only do you feel better, but you also open yourself to possibilities once seeming unreachable. Perhaps it's time to stop attempting to control everything and start trusting more in the strength already residing within you. Do things with calm. Have you noticed rushing resembles cooking in an overheated pan without oil? It simply burns everything faster, and worst of all, nothing turns out as intended. Let me tell you truth, calmness isn't slowness, it's strategy. It's accomplishing things at the pace they require to flow smoothly and emerge correctly. Picture this: you're preparing dinner for a special occasion. You've invited friends and planned everything meticulously. But you arrive home late and begin hastily chopping ingredients. The vegetables end up uneven, sauce spills everywhere, and additionally, the pasta overcooks because you're distracted by the oven. When serving, it resembles nothing you envisioned. Sound familiar? Now consider the alternative: you allow yourself time. You carefully prepare ingredients, enjoying the process. You taste the sauce while cooking, adjusting flavors. The pasta turns out perfectly al dente. The result? Not only a delicious meal but also an enjoyable experience. Do you think that's coincidental? It's not. Rushing doesn't just ruin recipes, it ruins opportunities. Often we rush because we observe others completing tasks as if life were competition. But listen carefully, everyone has their rhythm. Comparing yours to another's is like attempting to accelerate plant growth merely by watching it. Aurelius understood this perfectly. He wrote, "The mind resembles water, when calm, it reflects the world clearly." As emperor, he shouldered enormous responsibilities, yet he didn't tackle everything simultaneously. He reflected, prioritized, and acted with composure even during crises. He maintained mental steadiness for wise decisions. It wasn't about doing things faster but doing them better. I recognize slowing down isn't simple when everything appears to move at lightning speed, but what if I told you those small moments of calm open doors for things to begin aligning? Before starting any task, pause for 2 minutes, just 2. Breathe deeply and ask yourself, what's the most important action I can take now? Mentally organize your steps as if arranging your mind's workspace. This simple ritual won't merely provide clarity, it'll help you function from a more relaxed state. And when relaxed, things flow better, as if everything begins aligning with you. Stop wasting effort on multitasking. I know juggling multiple things simultaneously seems like success strategy, but here's untold truth: you won't perform any task well. So what should you do? Select one task, just one, and give it complete attention. It's like planting seeds: provide care and time, and they grow strong. Upon completing that task, proceed to the next. You won't just accomplish more, you'll do it better. With calmness, you create space for what you truly desire to manifest more clearly. As philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "Adopt nature's pace, her secret is patience." And he couldn't be more accurate. Calmness doesn't merely improve results, it lets you appreciate the process. Imagine how your life would transform if instead of racing against time, you chose calm progression, savoring each step regardless of workload. If you take time to perform well, everything begins flowing, and best of all, you'll feel more control and peace. Because when you act calmly, you create space for your true desires to take shape. Be grateful for what you have. Imagine someone hands you a box, saying inside lies everything you're missing, everything that would transform your world if possessed. Excited, you open it expecting something extraordinary, but all you see is a mirror. Initially confused, you wonder what this means, then realization strikes: you don't need more, you just need fresh perspective on what you already possess. Often we focus so intensely on future acquisitions that we forget appreciating our current circumstances. But here's the secret: when you start expressing gratitude for existing blessings, something shifts. Life feels lighter, stress diminishes, and almost magically, you begin attracting more positive elements. Speaking of seeing current possessions differently, let me share a story perfectly illustrating this principle. It concerns a merchant who, like many, couldn't stop dwelling on all he lacked, until learning an unexpected lesson. Daily he complained about his small, uncomfortable shop. "There's no space, I can't organize properly, why must this be my situation?" He believed life would improve with larger, nicer premises. One day, desperate, he consulted a village elder for advice. The elder listened, then said, "Do this, bring your inventory crates inside the shop." The merchant was surprised but complied. The next day he returned complaining, "This is worse. I can't move with all these crates." The elder smiled, saying, "Now bring display cabinets inside too." Again the merchant obeyed, but by the third day returned furious, "This is unbearable. I can't function anymore." The elder then instructed, "Now remove the crates and cabinets." When the merchant returned home, he realized something incredible: suddenly his small shop felt spacious and peaceful. The dimensions hadn't changed, but his perspective had. For the first time, he appreciated what he possessed. Do you see? Gratitude doesn't change circumstances, everything might remain unchanged. But do you know what it transforms? Your perception. And when shifting perspective, you begin noticing previously hidden opportunities. Gratitude's magic isn't merely mood transformation, it's as if activating enchantment in your life. According to philosopher Lucius Annaeus Seneca, being thankful for current possessions functions like a magic wand, helping you see opportunities where previously you only saw problems. This enchantment aligns you with what truly matters, and best of all, you need no special techniques. Gratitude is the wand you've always possessed. Of course, this concept isn't new. Epictetus once said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." For Stoics, gratitude was daily practice. They gave thanks for small things, bread consumed, sunrise witnessed, meaningful conversation experienced, because when training yourself to see good, you stop wasting energy on what's missing, thereby opening doors to manifesting even more positive elements. So how can you practice gratitude? Don't worry, this isn't standard write 3 things daily advice. Let's try something different. Set aside moments weekly for reflection. Find quiet space, take paper, and document 3 things genuinely inspiring gratitude. But here's the technique, don't stop at documentation. Ask yourself, how have these elements contributed toward my goals? For example, perhaps a colleague's support sustained your strength, or recent challenge revealed what truly matters. Reflecting thus doesn't merely help relaxation, it begins aligning your mind with your objectives. The more you focus on existing good, the easier attracting desired elements becomes. It's as if every small thing inspiring gratitude builds pathways toward your goals, step by step, without conscious awareness. My friend, what inspires your gratitude today? This simple contemplation could become your first step toward manifesting desires, because when grateful, you're telling the universe, I'm prepared to receive more. Disconnect from the noise. Have you ever attempted listening to favorite music amid city traffic filled with honking, sirens, and shouting? No matter how hard you try, noise drowns melody, correct? That's exactly how we live today. Every notification, random conversation, news alert bombards like background interference, making focusing on what matters impossible. Now let me ask, how do you expect discovering your true desires if your mind remains trapped in constant chaos? If you don't silence that noise, if you don't create space, you'll never hear the music within you. Look around, how much time do you spend observing others' activities? Scrolling social media? Reading headlines seeming urgent but honestly forgettable by tomorrow? All that noise doesn't merely steal time, it fills your mind with elements not bringing you closer to genuine desires. Consider this, every notification, every comparison adds another dust layer to your window. How can you see clearly when everything appears smudged? But if you pause, if you disconnect momentarily, it's like cleaning that window. Suddenly you perceive what lies beyond, you see what truly matters, your ideas, dreams, opportunities always present but previously unnoticed. Epictetus said centuries ago, the free individual is one unafraid to follow thoughts to conclusion. What do you need for this journey? You must silence external noise. You cannot reflect on deepest desires when your mind remains trapped in constant distraction barrage. Silence is where thoughts have freedom to grow, transform into actions, and eventually into results. Let me ask, my friend, how often have you felt your mind so full that clear thinking becomes impossible? Be honest, you're tired of it, aren't you? All that noise doesn't merely exhaust, it pulls you further from what genuinely matters. So are you ready attempting something few dare try? Let's silence that external noise. Before proceeding further, I'll acknowledge it won't be easy, but trust me, it's worthwhile. Here's my suggestion, try a limited notification day. Don't worry, I'm not asking for complete phone deactivation. What do I mean? Simply establish specific times for message checking, perhaps 9 o'clock morning and 6 o'clock evening. Ignore them otherwise. Believe me, I tried myself and immediately noticed difference. Suddenly I had time for focusing on projects, maintaining rituals, and most importantly, being present. Another idea, spend time in nature. It needn't be impressive hiking, perhaps nearby garden or personal balcony. Take 10 minutes listening to surrounding sounds, wind movement, birds singing, even footsteps on ground. But no cheating, leave headphones behind. It's just you, your mind, and nature. You'll notice something amazing. It's as if nature reminds you of slower, more authentic rhythm always available. When you silence noise, it resembles being firefighter facing blaze. First extinguish chaos, flames, and distraction. Only then can you clearly see what lies beneath. And in that moment, when everything calms, your mind becomes fertile ground where ideas and desires can flourish. It's in this stillness space that you can truly focus on desires and begin manifesting them step by step, without noise flames pulling you off course. Get a good night's rest. Have you ever tried using electronic devices at 10% battery? Everything slows, applications stop responding, and without charging, complete shutdown follows. Now consider this: how often do you live with body and mind operating at 10% capacity? Imagine how your days would appear if beginning every morning with fully charged battery? My friend, you might think, I lack time for rest, or I must use this time productively. But what if I told you that mindset causes more harm than good, pulling you further from the life you wish creating? Here's untold truth: rest isn't wasting time, it's your best self-investment. It's when mind and body prepare for tomorrow's excellence. And believe me, rest isn't merely collapsing into bed after exhaustion. It's creating space where body and mind can truly regenerate. Think of it like vehicle maintenance. Without changing oil, tuning engine, or checking brakes, it might continue running temporarily, but eventually breaks down. Your body and mind operate similarly; they require nightly maintenance. When resting properly, you don't just feel better, you think better, make superior decisions, and position yourself more clearly for manifesting true desires. This isn't merely metaphorical, science confirms it. At night during sleep, your brain enters deep cleaning mode. Did you know that while resting, tiny cleaning mechanisms work overtime in your head? It's factual. Research from European Sleep Research Society found that during sleep, your brain removes toxins accumulated during daytime activities. It's like sweeping away worries and stress, leaving everything prepared for fresh beginnings. When sleeping well, you awaken as if pressing reset, clear-headed, focused, and ready to pursue what truly matters. Zeno of Citium, as renowned philosopher, understood this perfectly. He said, "Even the strongest mind needs rest to maintain effectiveness." Despite immense responsibilities concerning students and philosophical development, he knew he couldn't offer his best without recovery time. For him, rest wasn't luxury but strategy. He reflected daily before sleeping, disconnecting from leadership worries. If philosopher could find time for rest, why can't you? I understand. You're probably thinking proper rest sounds wonderful, but with work demands, worries, and responsibilities, how can this become reality? Don't worry, I have simple nighttime ritual you can begin today making rest achievable. First, deactivate all screens at least 30 minutes before sleeping, yes, including phones. Instead, read something, perhaps relaxing material that won't overstimulate, like light fiction or inspirational text. Second, document tomorrow's intentions in notebook. For example, tomorrow I'll dedicate an hour to that exciting project, or I'll truly listen during every conversation. This not only relaxes but also aligns mind with desired achievements. Finally, spend 5 minutes breathing deeply while settling into bed, nothing complicated, just slow inhalation and exhalation. So next time you consider sleep merely basic necessity, remember this: even brightest stars need darkness for shining, and you are no exception. Embrace your failures. My friend, let me tell you something you might resist hearing: failure is inevitable. Think of failures as initial brushstrokes on blank canvas. At first they might appear as meaningless marks, but with each additional stroke, the picture begins forming. And here's good news: it's not world's end, it's merely beginning of something better. Did you know many greatest innovations began as mistakes? Let me share a story about one you likely use daily. In 1980s, scientist named Dr. Olivia Winters was developing super-strong maritime adhesive for naval operations. Instead, she produced exact opposite, weak adhesive barely sticking to surfaces. What seemed like failure was shelved for years. Then one of her associates, Thomas Reed, had brilliant insight. He used that weak adhesive, creating notes that could adhere and remove easily without leaving residue. The result? Repositionable notes, now indispensable for organizing our lives, actually resulted from failure. Isn't that remarkable? Do you see my point? It's not about avoiding failure but how you confront it. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you but how you respond that matters. Your mistakes don't define identity but can shape destination if used as tools. Every stumble can become a step toward something far greater. Listen, failures might feel like enormous barriers, but they're actually doorways waiting to be opened. So how do you open them? First and most important, ease self-judgment. Sometimes we demand perfection, leading to distorted view of mistakes. Consider, how many opportunities have you avoided fearing failure? When permitting yourself to fail, you also permit learning. It's like rehearsal, initial attempts needn't be perfect because each attempt brings you closer to desired outcome. Second, use lessons from mistakes as staircase. Every failure becomes step elevating you higher, but only if you choose climbing. Did something go wrong? Excellent, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What will I do differently next time? Every lesson makes you stronger, wiser, better prepared for what follows. It's process, and every step counts. Finally, focus on present. Too often we become trapped in past mistakes as if they're unbreakable chains. But here's reality, previous actions don't determine future ones. You possess new tools, new knowledge, new opportunity before you. Ask yourself, what can I do today proving I've grown? With each new attempt, you're building something better. Do you see how everything connects when changing your failure perspective? It's not about erasing them but using them advantageously. Doing this, you'll notice something interesting, you relax. You no longer feel constant perfection pressure, and in that calm state, things begin flowing naturally. It's as if one's obstacle-filled path begins clearing, and the more relaxed you become, the easier attracting true desires becomes. Because failures aren't conclusion, they're spark igniting something new. So what masterpiece might you create if no longer fearing those initial strokes? Embrace your failures, because each represents step toward complete picture of the life you truly want creating. Imagine it and make it real. Close your eyes momentarily. Picture yourself in cinema. Lights dim, projector activates, and something unexpected appears on screen, you. You're the protagonist, but this isn't ordinary film. It's your life story exactly as always dreamed. Everything appears, goals achieved, people inspiring you, moments accelerating heartbeat. You perceive every detail clearly as if already occurring. Now, my friend, here's a significant question, what would this film look like if you directed it? Believe me, visualization isn't merely pleasant exercise, it's a powerful tool. It's like writing script before cameras activate. When taking time vividly imagining desires, you're not merely dreaming, you're training mind making it reality. Because everything outwardly built begins within. Consider this, without clear idea what you want, how can you expect attaining it? As Seneca said, no wind favors sailor lacking destination. In other words, you need direction, clear vision guiding you. But here's key, imagining isn't sufficient, you must feel it as if already happening. That's this exercise's magic, it helps relaxation, alignment with desires, and movement toward them confidently. Did you know your brain doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined scenarios and actual occurrences? That's what psychologist and author Viktor Frankl explains, when visualizing something detailed, your mind interprets it as reality. It's like creating invisible blueprint for what you're building, changing everything, your movement through world, your energy, your decisions, even opportunities appearing begin aligning with that vision. It's like tuning instrument, suddenly everything sounds harmonious. I'm certain this concept intrigues you and inspires attempt. So how can you incorporate it? First, spend 5 minutes daily closing eyes and visualizing goals detailed. Don't merely picture desires, mentally experience them. For example, if your goal involves establishing meditation center, imagine yourself arranging cushions, hearing gentle music, seeing peaceful expressions on participants' faces. How does it feel? What emotions arise when bringing dreams to life mentally? When your brain begins treating them as reality, it starts acting accordingly. Next, document goals as if already achieved. This isn't merely list but declaration. For example, instead of writing, I want successful creative business, write, I have thriving studio where I create inspirational work. Add details, what's your daily routine? What impact are you making? Here's final suggestion, make this process relaxing. Don't treat it as another responsibility. Play soft music, find quiet space, and allow yourself dreaming, because dreaming isn't wasting time, it's giving mind direction needed for building desires. Everything begins mentally. When imagining clearly, you take first step toward making it reality. It's not merely about dreaming but using those dreams as compass guiding actions. So what prevents you? Start visualizing, start believing, start shaping the life always wanted. Let me tell you, your best remains forthcoming. This final point isn't merely powerful conclusion, it might be exactly the impulse needed connecting everything discussed and transforming your life completely. Are you ready discovering it? Trust in what's coming. Imagine tending small garden, deciding to plant lavender. You prepare soil, plant seeds, water daily. First week, you check soil excited, hoping to see green sprouts, but nothing appears. Am I doing something wrong? You wonder, examining dirt. You continue watering patiently, but another week passes, still nothing. Frustration emerges. Is something wrong with seeds? Perhaps insufficient watering? What you can't perceive is underground activity, roots working diligently, preparing to break surface. From above, nothing appears happening, potentially driving anyone mad, but don't surrender. All that effort bears fruit even if currently invisible. When first shoots appear, all will have been worthwhile. Because, my friend, lavender isn't hurried, but when it emerges, it remains strong, steady, exactly as envisioned. Do you see now? The same occurs when trying manifesting true desires. Even when nothing seems changing, everything moves correctly. Your intentions, efforts, even energy pave path currently invisible. And when least expected, results will materialize. Let's be honest, nobody enjoys waiting. But what if I told you patience isn't merely passive waiting but believing that while doing your part, universe handles its responsibilities too? As Marcus Aurelius said, nature doesn't rush, yet everything accomplishes. Consider river, regardless of twists and obstacles encountered, it never stops. It always reaches destination, the ocean. Now imagine facing challenging situation. You've decided life needs radical change, leaving academia, selling unnecessary possessions, establishing sanctuary for rescued animals. Sounds exciting, correct? But reality intrudes, initial weeks bring disaster. Savings disappear faster than anticipated, permits you expected aren't materializing, and you question whether you've made tremendous mistake. You find yourself attempting controlling everything, obsessing over immediate solutions. But then you remember, you must trust what's coming. You begin applying lessons learned, relaxing, documenting intentions, clearly visualizing desires, releasing some control. Then something unexpected happens. During casual conversation someone mentions opportunity, land donation program for animal sanctuaries. This is exactly what I needed, you exclaim joyfully. But notice, you wouldn't have discovered it without lowering defenses and trusting what was coming. My friend, don't misunderstand, trust doesn't mean folding arms waiting. You must work diligently, but also relax and manifest desires with calm. When doubts emerge, because honestly, they shall, repeat this, I'm handling my responsibilities, the rest will arrive timely. Document if necessary. Place it somewhere visible daily. It's reminder you're not alone in this process. Never forget, trust what's coming, because while planting seeds, life already works making them grow. And when least expected, you'll be surprised by fruits never imagined possible. I invite embracing everything explored today. Let every pause, every visualization, every release act and trust become opportunity bringing you closer to true desires. Remember, every step, however small seemingly, serves purpose. In that calm and trust lies no emptiness, only possibility. That's where dreams birth and begin taking shape in reality. If this has resonated with you deeply, signify your commitment to this stoic path of calm manifestation. Don't forget to revisit these principles when needed. They're packed with insights, stories, and guidance helping navigate life with greater wisdom and confidence. Continue moving forward with stoic strength and inner peace, and remember, the true power of manifestation lies not in controlling the world around you, but in mastering the world within.